I just did a video for the Bible College, so I still have this up. Let me take this down. All right. Um, Good morning, guys. It is Monday night for us, Tuesday morning for you guys, and here we are, another week, another day. It's been a blessing, guys. If you guys were able to see Sunday service, I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys. If you guys didn't have a chance, you should go check it out. And God has been moving powerfully. It's been exciting every single week. There's more people, new people, or people that came the previous week, and they bring people, and that's a good sign, guys, that God is truly moving and doing something and stirring the hearts of men and women at House of Rest Church. It has truly been a blessing, and wow. But other than that, guys, you guys know Monday, which is it's still Monday for me. I know you guys watching this on Tuesday, but it's getting back to normal to the point where we can actually relax. We like to take Monday as a day of relaxation, but we did get an opportunity though to go to downtown Modesto. Pastor Mauro and his wife Rosa, which is our Grace International Church out of Stockton, Resurrection Power Church. They had a prayer right there in downtown Stockton, right in the very heart of the city. There's a little like a square block of a park right in front of City Hall, and facing the City Hall on one side, Civic Auditorium in the other, and the public library. It's right there in the very heart of the city, and they were having prayer, and they had invited us about a week ago and said, "Hey, if you guys are available or able to, can you guys come out and we're just gonna get some pastors to just pray for the city." And there was a great opportunity, and we were able to go and just pray, and it was a beautiful moment. There was, in the beginning, you think like nobody's even there, and you just cars are driving by, nobody's listening. But as we kept praying and pressing in and praying, we kept going, and first this pastor would talk, then that pastor, and then Rosa, and Sharon, and then back to the pastor, and we just kept rotating, and uh, I just really felt led by the Lord to just pray the first round, pray just against the principalities of Stockton. A lot of times, guys, that many people, maybe some of you watching this, you feel rejected. You feel rejected by maybe your family. You feel rejected by those around you, your peers. Many of you feel rejected from your cities, and because of that, it causes a spiral of self hate, self condemnation. Um, and you're just like, well, if I ain't worth nothing, then I guess I'm not worth nothing, and you just start to live accordingly that way. And it made me think, as I was praying for the city of Modesto, that well, let me say this first, so it'll make sense. Many times in the Bible, the Lord brings wrath or judgment upon an entire city, which is it's kind of crazy, right? Because we would think, like, can you imagine if God brought uh, uh, judgment on a city, but there's different kinds of people in there. There's good people, there's bad people, there's atheists, there's Christians, so it's kind of weird that God will judge an entire city, but yet He does over and over. Look at Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, and that's not the only one. He brought judgment upon Egypt. He brought, and so there's even a part where, oh, sorry guys, where Jesus comes to even in the New Testament, Jesus comes to Jerusalem, and the moment He sees the city, He begins weeping. So there, I mean, wow. And I wasn't prepared with scriptures, because I just wanted to talk about this, but there's many times over and over and over. Okay, here's another example. Even churches. Look at the book of Revelations. He had a word for the church, uh, um, well, the different churches, the different seven churches in the book of Revelation. So even there, we see an entire judgment or entire wrath upon a group or a city or a church or. So why am I saying that? Is because I truly believe it's biblical. I never thought of it this way until I was actually holding the mic, because they brought me the mic as the last pastor was praying. That way I could be next. And the Lord said, Stockton has lost all hope, because it truly is one of the rejected cities of California. It's the embarrassment of much of California. People, even people as far away as Los Angeles, they'll be like, "Oh man, it's nice up north. It's nice up north." And I'll be like, "I live in Stockton." They're like, "Oh man, Stockton, I ain't trying to go over there. I ain't trying to get shot." And it truly has a reputation, the city, of just violence, horrible acts of violence, horrible things that have happened here. I mean, it's just the most randomest thing could get somebody killed. You don't have to be in the life. You don't have to be a gang member. You don't have to be, just people randomly kill. And so anyways, it has a reputation. And I say that to say this is I believe that an entire city can feel shame and condemnation and guilt. And because of that, I every time when I come home, their city has a spirit, a cloud of hopelessness, where all hope is lost. Why try? It's an embarrassment to the state. Nobody wants to come here. Nobody wants to live here. If Stockton is never mentioned, I've noticed it. I meet people, and I could be in LA, I could be in the Bay Area, and they're like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" Like in a random store. "Oh, where are you guys from?" "Stockton." "Oh, Stockton." And I say that because the Lord said, right as I was gonna pray, I felt like the Lord said, "I need you to pray against the spirit of no hope in this city, because I can turn everything around. If I can cause Bones to rise up, then I can cause Stockton to rise up." What better place for revival to come forth than from the place that is most rejected? Because, first of all, California is rejected out of the 50 states. And within the 50 states, within California, Stockton's rejected. So it's like double rejected. So, what better place for the Lord to raise up an army? What better place for the Lord to reach the lost? What better place for the Lord to turn things around? Because here's the thing, when He takes you out of the gutter, you can do nothing but praise God. You can't give yourself credit. You can't say, "Oh, I come from this big rich city or these big universities." Or so when God takes somebody out of the gutter, they give God all the glory, because they know the impossibility, the fact that they wouldn't be where they're at if it wasn't for the hand of God. Why do you think people that come out of addiction are on fire? Why do you think people that come out of alcoholism are on fire? Why do you think people that come out of prison and gangs and or whatever it is, whatever darkness people come out of, why do you think that? Because they know they don't have to um, convince themselves that they deserve this. They know they don't deserve it, and God is so good that He raised them up out of nothing. And when God raises you from nothing, you will always give Him the glory. So that's what the Lord told me to pray, is for the cloud of no hope and shame of this city to be lifted, so revival can finally happen. And that was kind of what I was praying the first time, and then the second round, I'm like, let's go. And I started just praying again. But you know, if individuals feel rejected, I believe entire cities can feel rejected, and states, and so on and so forth. So How about this? Wherever you're listening from, what has your city lost hope of? Because maybe that's one thing you can add to your prayers is for your city, your region, your town, your county, your state. Why is it that we just accept that San Francisco is the way it is? Why is it that we accept that Hollywood is the way it is? Why do we just accept that San Fernando Valley is just the way it is? Why do we accept that Las Vegas is, oh, the city of sin, that's just the way it is? Why do we accept that Chicago is where murders happen every day? Why do we accept that New York has a reputation it has? Why do we accept that Houston? I mean, I could go on and on. Why do we accept it as Christians? See, we understand that the world does that. But why do we follow along with that? What about refusing? What about coming against it and saying, you know what, this city is more than those things? You know, and it's like Christians do it all the time. Oh, San Francisco, that's Anton LaVey. That's where the Satanic Bible was from. And it's like, it's almost as if we give it to him. It's like we give it to the enemy. How about fighting? Doesn't the Bible say that we don't fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities in high places? If God can turn a man around, like myself, if God could turn a woman around, if God can reach a Paul or a stubborn Peter, then what makes you think he can't change a city or a community or a neighborhood? Maybe it's not your city. Maybe it's your neighborhood. You know, okay, Salinas, at least for up here in North, Salinas has a reputation of gang violence. So as a Christian, why do we accept that? Why do we go along with that narrative? Isn't that just feeding into whatever the enemy is wanting for that city? Technically, do you realize that when we say, oh yeah, Salinas, that's all gangs, do you realize you're agreeing with Satan? You probably aren't, because I never thought of it like that till today. You know, you think of San Francisco, what do you think of, right? Homosexuality, right? So we just go along with it because that's what Satan wants, and we just go along with it. What do you think of when you hear Oakland? How about San Jose? Why are we allowing the enemy to create the narrative for our cities, our neighborhoods, and our state? And I'm not rebuking anybody. This is a rebuke I got seconds before I was going to pray, because it was last minute. Like, yeah, the pastor invited us a week ago, but to be honest with you, this is Monday. This is our day off. We were just resting. That thing started at 6. At 5:45, we're on our couch, and I was very comfortable. And I just kind of mentioned it to Sharon because I remembered. I looked at my watch. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember the pastor was supposed to have prayer today. And she's like, what time? I said, in 15 minutes. And everything in me, I wanted her to say, oh, okay, maybe we'll go next week. And she's like, well, let's go. And I'm like, what? So I didn't have no prayer. I didn't think about it. I wasn't like, oh, what should I pray about all week long? I just went, to be supportive of them. And I mean, I knew I was going to pray, but I wasn't thinking about what I was going to pray. But it was crazy because seconds before, it's like the Lord said, speak against what everybody believes about this city. And that's a thought I never thought about. And it makes me think, why do we accept the narratives that this world offers? Why? It's messed up because we're all guilty of it. So anyways, guys, it's going to be a short devotional. It's like 2 a.m. And I did a video earlier on the David Rocha channel. I did a song review, and then I did the video about the Bible college, and I wanted to give you guys a devotional. I didn't give you one yesterday. For that, I apologize. But anyways, I hope this got you thinking. Please leave a comment on what your thoughts are about this. Have you ever thought of this? Or if you've never thought of it, did it convict you? Have you fell into the narrative of the city you're from? because ultimately, if it's not good, then it's from the enemy. And if it's from the enemy, why are we going along with it? And it was crazy because then when Sharon got the mic, she started saying, "This is a beautiful city," because it truly is, guys. Stockton is, especially this downtown area where I live, it is. You could tell it's almost like a ghost town, not a ghost town where it's empty. It's a ghost town in a sense of you could see the plans they had originally for it back when this is an old city. you know, um, 1920s, 1930s, even before that, there's a lot of beautiful brick building, Victorian style homes. Downtown, you see banks, old banks that used to be banks, and it's all brick and high rises. And it truly is. And it's right next to the waterfront right here, which it's a huge river that goes into the Sacramento River that goes to the San Francisco Bay Area. So a lot of during the gold rush, a lot of supplies, that were taken to the gold rush were from San Francisco. But that stuff came down the river from the Bay Area, came through the river. They poured it in Stockton, and from Stockton, it was ridden to the foothills to all these small towns and encampments that are up there in the foothills. That during the gold rush was full of thousands of people hoping to get rich. So because of that, and because of the port here, which is literally a few blocks away from me, because of the port here, this was a very old and important city. And you can tell that they had major plans because a major money came through here. Think about it, the gold rush. People needed food, supplies, clothes, you name it. And all of it had to come to the port here in Stockton. And because of that, people became rich. It was a very rich city. You could just tell. But now it's something different. But why do we have to accept the fate and the narrative that the enemy has done to wreck this city? Anyways, guys, God bless you. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow, and hope you have a good day. See you later.